of the world famous Jiggy Jaguar Show, coast to coast and border to border. This segment of the program at 21 minutes after the hour is brought to you by our good friends at smartphone313.com. Smartphone Blogging Advisors. These guys are going to be able to show you how to make $100 to $600 plus a day using your smartphone. Check out smartphone313.com. That's smartphone, the number 3, the number 1, and the number 3.com. We've got a great guest with us on the line. She's been with us in the past, and I wanted to get her on today to talk about a couple different things. We've got Kira Anthofer with us today. Kira, how are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Let's talk here, my friend. Centella SeniorSolutions.com is her website. And the topic for this first segment is isolation does not equal independence for seniors. You've done a lot of local workshops on the dangers of isolation and the importance of socialization for the elderly. This is something that I've always wondered, why do a lot of these nursing homes, why do they isolate the elderly and just basically put seniors away realistically? This is such a horrible thing.
It is, and it stems from even before the nursing home situation. It stems from the family. So many people have felt that they are making that sacred promise that they've made to their parents. Don't ever put your mom in a nursing home. And so families feel beholden to make sure that they take care of that parent, but they think that means leaving them home alone. And really, you're isolating that surviving parent. And when you have an elderly person home alone, they're very vulnerable to a whole slew of different types of abuses.
Now, you've been doing some workshops around the country on this very topic. What have you been covering in these workshops?
Well, I've been talking about that really we as humans, by nature, are social creatures. We're not to be isolated. We'd like to have that sense of independence, even if it's just a matter of making a choice. And so I talk about that the most popular form of socialization is talking with people that are through either having a purpose like work, or eating and drinking and socializing with other people. And when a senior is alone, what are they doing most of the time? Watching TV or thinking alone, which leads to depression. And so I just bring back the need for socialization. And I show them how to make that, to break through that isolation by having family members be engaged, maybe having more frequent visits or hiring out caregivers to come in, but letting them know that a senior needs to have a choice, and that lets them have more sense of independence and not be isolated.
We've got a great guest with us today. Kira Anthofer joins us, and we're talking about isolation with seniors, and you mentioned it right there, and I want you to expand on this a little bit more. Isolation leads to depression. How do we fight this?
Well, we fight through it through several different things. It is through social interaction, positive attitude towards aging. We meaning we here in the United States, tend to have not such a positive outlook on aging process. If you look on the global scale of, let's just take centenarians, people that are 100 years or older, and you take a percentage of 100,000 people, Japan has the highest number of centenarians of 35 per 100,000. Then comes France with 27. We in the United States have only 17. So that tells you a lot. Even though we are living longer, we have great medication, we have great medical care, but we still are not living as long as other countries are. And it goes back to that sense of positive aging. There was a study done quite some time ago in Ohio when they took 600 people and asked them, what is their outlook on aging? Well, 30 years later, they followed up with them, and they saw that those that had a positive outlook on aging lived 7.5 years longer than those that had a negative influence on it. So that's my other message. It's positive sense of aging.
We've got a great guest with us today. Kira Anthofer joins us, and CentellaSeniorSolutions.com is her website. She has been speaking around the country about this topic of isolation does not equal independence for seniors. And she's been doing a lot of workshops on the dangers of isolation, the importance of socialization for the elderly. What are some of the folks telling you when they're coming out to these workshops, and what are some of the questions that the folks have been giving you?
Well, a lot of people are asking, well, what can we do about providing some sort of security for my senior if we can't afford to, let's say, go into a retirement home or a senior living home? So I give them suggestions on how they can do kind of a low-cost security and social program for that senior. If they live in a mobile home park or if they live in a 55-plus community, I ask them to maybe have somebody do a daily check. Maybe there's a volunteer within the group, and they walk around and everyone agrees to a certain signal to make sure that, oh, I see that the light is on in that front window. That lets me know that Mary got up and she's okay. Or I tell them about local resources that are within their city that they should check out through the local aging and independence services department. Each state has that, and they should check in with their local county office. Again, that's the Aging and Independence Services. And see what resources are available out there for maybe even a few hours of free caregivers, or to check in with their local senior center to see about social outlets, and then maybe they can get transportation to these social outlets.
Kira Anthofer joins us. We're going to take a quick time out here with Kira. If you want to get more information on what she is up to, you can go over to the website, CentellaSeniorSolutions.com, and that's CENTINELA, SeniorSolutions.com. When we get back, we're going to chat about assisted living in Mexico, kind of compare and contrast the United States system and the Mexican system, and we'll be back with Kira here on the Big Broadcast. Program coast to coast and border to border on the Starcom Radio Network, TalkRadioX.com, and 24/7 at JiggyJaguar.com. If you missed this broadcast or any part of it and want to hear it again, it replays every single morning on TalkSuperstation.com. We've got Kira Anthofer back with us here. Assisted living in Mexico is the topic for this segment. She's done a number of visits to assisted living communities in Baja California as an alternative senior residential care option. There are no regulations in Mexico about senior care, so pricing is lower. Customer service is higher ratio. Hospitality is natural. And medical care is very inexpensive. Kira, welcome back. Let's talk a little bit about this. What have some of your experiences in Mexico been like as it relates to senior residential care?
I'm really excited about this. I'm based in San Diego, so going to Baja California is really convenient. I'm seeing some really viable options for people who are on a tight budget, but are still looking for that care just across the border.
Now, this is a kind of compare and contrast the U.S. and Mexican systems here.
Sure. In Mexico, there are really no regulations about senior living. And here in the United States, there's quite a bit, and each state also has some added regulations. So the opportunity for the business in Mexico is quite high, and there are a lot of companies that are taking advantage of the no regulations. I've been to one community where it is a U.S.-based company that has built one right outside of north of Rosarito Beach. And so when I toured that, I could see that a lot of common policies and procedures that I'm used to here in the U.S. are in place. And then others that I've been to, there's just people that are generally going into the business because they have the love of seniors.
Kira, it seems to me that the Mexican system seems to be a little bit better than the U.S. system. Is that your is that your experience, or?
Well, what I'm saying is that the medical care, it's really good medical care. Medicine is very inexpensive. Now, the ones that are the community that I visited that's closest to the border, just outside of Tijuana, if an American is insisting to get into American soil, they do have agreements with hospitals just over the border, and they'll be more than happy to transport them to the U.S. But, you really don't need that because there are medical clinics so close by to these residential communities. Now, U.S. insurance won't cover for any of it. It is out of pocket, but it's so low cost.
Why is it so low cost? What is the price scale breakdown here?
I think it's because of the average income of a Mexican citizen. That's what makes it so low cost. Now, when looking at the residential side of things, an assisted living community, I'm talking about San Diego County here, on average, an all-inclusive care community for a private room would cost about $4,500 a month. That's just for assisted living, and for dementia care, it could go starting at $6,000. But what I'm seeing there in Mexico, it's starting at around $2,100, and you're literally like 2 blocks from the beach, and you can see the Pacific Ocean.
Wow.
Again, I think it has wow. And I think, again, it's a lot to do with low cost in labor costs, low cost in real estate, and they're passing that on to the Americans.
Kira Anthofer with us today. CentellaSeniorSolutions.com is her website. The second topic with her today, we've been talking about her number of visits to assisted living communities in Baja California as an alternative senior residential care option. There are no regulations in Mexico about senior care, so pricing is lower. Customer service is a higher ratio, which is a really welcome change. Hospitality is natural. Medicare is inexpensive. The U.S. insurance does not cover, as we mentioned, local expenses. Options are similar to U.S., but the properties that she's seen are close to the beach at incredibly low prices compared to U.S. prices. What are the possible stumbling blocks here as we wrap up here with you about assisted living in Mexico?
Sure. Some of those stumbling blocks for somebody who's looking at that is passports. You do need to have a passport. It is 6 months visitor's visas, so you would have to renew your visa every 6 months. Also, if one is not familiar with Mexico, these places are not necessarily in the most affluent neighborhoods either. So you could have a very nice senior living community, but it's in a very poor neighborhood. So first impressions on the outside of it may not be so pleasing, but if you can overcome that and see that it's just a very nice countryside with great smiling people, you just have to get over that impression. But within the community, there's usually security. It's a gated community. Those would be the impressions and some of the stumbling blocks that one would have to overcome. But the care bearer, the caregivers, the natural instinct of the Mexican people are hospitality. The ratios of caregivers to residents is very high. You're talking about 1 to maybe 3 seniors, while in the United States it could be 1 to 12 to even as high as 20 in the United States.
Kira Anthofer has been our guest for this first hour. I appreciate you making time for us today. Do you have a YouTube channel or anything, or social media where people can get a hold of you?
I sure do. Again, my website is Centinela Senior Solutions, and Centinela is Spanish for sentinel or guardian of seniors. I have a Facebook page. It's /Senior Living Expert. And if you go on YouTube, you can just put in my name, and you'll go right to my channel. My spelling is Kira Anthofer, Kira Anthofer.